Well, even though you're a Red Sox fan, I'm still listen to your music.
Why do we inflict this on ourselves?
Why? I'll tell you why. Because the Red Sox never let you down.
Alright, let's do this. We got Colby Acuff all the way from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Welcome to Bandwagon TV's Joyride. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for just joining us all the way from the North Country. Your music is fantastic, and you can't help but notice you being a busy man. So if you could really just tell us a little bit about who you are, your musical influences, and really about the scene, that country music scene in Idaho, in North Country.
Yeah, of course. So basically, I was born and raised up here in Coeur d'Alene. I'm a fourth generation Idahoan, so my family's been here for a long time. Growing up, I listened to a ton of bluegrass, like Flat and Scruggs, and bluegrass is really heavy here. In Weiser, Idaho, we actually have a giant fiddle contest down in Weiser. I think it's the third week of June. So bluegrass, fiddle, country music, all that folk kind of stuff. That's a huge scene up here. Bluegrass early on, and then also getting into that more of the country realm of things. I've really gravitated towards Hank Williams Sr., Waylon, Willie, Merle Haggard for kind of the older outlaw stuff, and then newer artists for me, I've really gravitated towards Sturgill Simpson, Tyler Childers, and that kind of stuff, and that's kind of the sound that we also have up here as far as in the scene.
But it's a great sound, such a good sound, and not only that, I wanted to talk about what you had going on in last year with COVID, and you had a tour, and you actually dropped a full-length album, to even now dropping a new album here in February. Tell us a little bit about how that was.
So basically what happened I'll keep it kind of short. It's a long story that I'll tell short, but we were a cover band, and I had just graduated college, and we were sitting down after a show, and I was having a beer with my bass player, and he said, "Hey, you want to go on tour?" And I said, "Well, if we're going to go on tour, we got to have an album. I'm just not going to go and be a touring cover band. I write songs, and I want to make sure." So I said, it's about time we do it anyway. So we put out an album. We planned a full-length tour, and we did all this in about 2 months. So kind of overnight, we took it from being a cover band business, like a side gig that I was doing, to basically being a professional musician in 2 months. Now, when we dropped the album, we really didn't expect it to do what it did for, we grew something like 10,000% in our first year, over all the Spotify platform things. So that being said, when it started growing, we were like, oh, well, now we'll just do this tour, and it'll be great, and everything was going good. And then COVID happened, we canceled 95 shows for the year and lost a ton of stuff. But that being said, I took some time, got back into the mountains, did a lot of fly fishing, and wrote If I Were the Devil, and spent a lot of time on social media platforms and building that and building a fan base without actually being on the road. And by the time we dropped If I Were the Devil as an album this last February, I think, the last 4 months have just been crazy for us, man. Yeah, If I Were the Devil dropped, and we did, the album went platinum about 3 weeks ago.
I'm actually a little surprised. I sent you a message. You had sent me something last year, I think. And with building your social media, and obviously I couldn't really get back to you until when you had new music up, and I'm like, oh, this will be great to have you back on the show. And I was actually surprised. I mean, you're a good man to, follow up, but I just assumed you'd be too busy. I mean, you got a busy schedule. You were just in Texas this last month. I mean, what do you got going on now?
Well, we're back now. We're in Idaho. We have shows. We're booked all the way till October right now. But I will be going to Nashville August 5th through the 10th, and I'll be playing at the Live Oak on the 8th. Ray's Rowdy's doing a songwriter round that they asked me to be a part of, so I was, very obliged to go ahead and do that. But we're definitely busy. I mean, we have 2 shows Friday, Saturday from now until October, like I was saying, a little bit of traveling. But, that being said, I still run all my own stuff. I don't have a management deal yet. I don't have a booking agent deal. I don't have a record label. So everything is still on me. I have eight employees right now, basically, including the back end and front end, and, just bootstrapping the whole thing. So
I love it. I love it. So we're going to plug, what you got going on, obviously, so that's great. Great plug for the end. And also we're going to plug your social media and your website. You have a great quote on your website, and it was almost fitting as of last year, and I think anybody really that is trying what you're doing. because you're obviously being successful at doing this. It's no one is ever remembered for not trying.
Right.
I guess I wanted to ask you, has there been something where you regretted? Because it doesn't seem like there has ever been a point where you've regretted, because you're always trying something new and.
Right. I mean, well, one thing I've been working since I was 12 years old. I got my first job. I played my first gig when I was 12 as well, and I was working landscaping. So I was playing in bars and coffee shops and doing private events since I was 12, like going through and, you know, also doing landscaping and whatnot on the side. But I knew pretty early on in my life that I really wanted to be my own boss, and I didn't want to work for anybody but myself, pretty much. And so once I kind of figured that out, I worked a bunch of different jobs, everything from real estate. I was a fly fishing guide, and now this, you know, and that's kind of all been constant in my life. But that being said, you know, that quote kind of comes from that when I got out of college and I had a job offer to be a stockbroker, and I had to turn that down and actually call Merrill Lynch and tell them, hey, you know, I'm going to actually go be a fly fishing guide for now. But I remember the reason why I didn't do it, it was a great pitch. I mean, it was a great job, but it was suit and tie every day, 9 to 5. And, you know, he said, oh, yeah, you know, this is what you're going to get paid, and this is what it's like. But by the time you're 40, dude, it's great. It's just turnkey. And I'm like, well, I don't want to wait till I'm 40. I want to build my own thing. So I called my dad, and I told him that. And he goes, yeah, well, I didn't think you were going to last long in that job, but I definitely thought you were going to take it. So, yeah, but then that quote kind of comes through when we were talking about dropping that first album and doing that first tour. And I started building the team, and, you know, I told everybody that I brought on, I said, you know, at this point, I have zero idea what I can pay you. I don't know what this is going to look like here in the future. But I did say, knowing we got a good chance because, you know, you can't, no one ever gets remembered for not trying. That just kind of became a motto for us, and we just kind of kept rolling with that. And it's, you know, it's basically been tattooed into our MO.
I love it, and I hope everybody else that's watching and listening, it's definitely a quote that should be remembered, and not only that everyone should use. I think COVID gave an opportunity for some people to take risks. Sometimes it didn't work out, but you've tried it, and at least you can tell people that you have. And that's why I really respect, and when I saw that quote, I was like, well, that is a great quote for a lot of people that can really resonate with a lot of people. So thanks for, I guess, putting that on your website that I could find it.
Well, yeah, no, and that's the other thing, too. And that quote also kind of comes from when I was a guide, when I was being a fly fishing guide. I remember I used to tell people all the time, like, when you're casting a fly rod, people want to, do the casting motion a ton, but you just want to be able to get it up and put it in the water. And I remember I was talking to this one guy who just was doing it all the time, and I said, hey, man, you can't catch a fish if your fly is not in the water. This is not going to, you know, the fly has to be in the water for it to catch a fish. And that, you know, kind of is the same thing. Like, you have to try something if you want to succeed in anything. You have to just keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. And if you do mess something up, which I have done plenty of times, you know, you just learn from that mistake, and hopefully it's not too critical of a mistake, and you just keep going from there.
It's fantastic. I love it. Well, I appreciate you sharing words of advice, and especially right now, things are just going really well for you. So, but we need to pull over because we're about to head into the lightning round. Mr. Acuff, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. Let's pull the white lightning over and get into it. All right, so this season, as the last season, this season we're plugging local businesses. We feel like it goes hand in hand with independent artists and musicians. And Colby, do you have a local business that you want to plug?
The one that I really would like to talk about is the outfitter that I guided for.
Yeah, please do.
Northwest Outfitters. Yeah, Northwest Outfitters here in Coeur d'Alene. They do a great job. I guided with them for 3 years. Mike Beard is the one that owns the business. It's family owned. It's endorsed by Orbis. During COVID, we lost all those shows. Mike brought me back in, let me guide for a season. I ended up taking like 70 trips last year. So he helped me out a ton. He's a great guy and a great friend of mine, and I'd love to plug that business.
Okay, that's great. I love it. I thank you very much, and hopefully we got a question to ask you about that whole fishing thing. All right, our local business is Young's Barbecue and More. It's a local barbecue. Now, when you were in Texas, what did you think about the Texas barbecue?
It was great. I didn't actually get to go out and eat as much as I thought I would be able to. I was there for 3 weeks, and I probably ate barbecue three or 4 times.
Yeah. Did you get a chance? Whataburger? Because how about Whataburger? Was that ever open? I mean, I know sometimes it isn't because of...
We ate it. I guess we got it twice, but I would really just consider it once. It was after a gig. We were driving in, and I'm like, oh, it's 2:00 in the morning. There'll be nobody at Whataburger. Let's go pull in. Nope, that line was as long as it could possibly be still. So we sat in line and got a burger. It was very good. I see what the hype's all about.
Yeah, but the line is always long after midnight.
Well, and the thing is, they're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
I mean, that was the craziest thing to me. Like, drive in, you know, there's a Whataburger, there's a Whataburger, there's a Whataburger, and the line is always long. Every single one.
Our town is about 6,000. We're close to, I think, 7,000 people in Lampasas, and they're going crazy right now. They're finally putting in a Whataburger.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. But anyways, our website at bandwagontv.com, we're promoting Young's Barbecue and more. They're a local family-owned barbecue restaurant. So, Colby, if you're ever back in Texas, we'd love to take you there and grab what they're famous for is their barbecue burrito, which is pulled pork or brisket. It's amazing.
I'd love to go. Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Cool. All right, here we go. I have to ask, we do a lot of snooping around your social media. I'm hoping this question... I'm a little shy because I'm hoping that it's the right person that we were looking at. But we noticed that you love sports, right? You're an avid sports fan. So you have a couple favorite sports teams, especially in your lyrics and one of your new songs on your new album. You mentioned the Green Bay Packers. So
correct. I'm a huge Packers fan.
Yep. But I need to ask, one team to win the championship, who do you got? The Boston Red Sox or Green Bay Packers?
This year?
Any year.
Oh, I'm taking the Sox.
Oh,
especially this year.
That really because of how hot they are. You're not afraid of them collapsing.
Absolutely not. And I hope they play the Dodgers. That's my favorite. When they play the Dodgers in the World Series and they win, oh man, that's my favorite. I hate the Dodgers. That's the best.
Why the Dodgers? Why do you hate the Dodgers so much?
Oh, I've never liked the Dodgers. Plus, they're like the Yankees of the NL to me. And there's a lot of Dodgers fans. There's a lot of people from LA that end up moving to Idaho, just like they do in Texas too.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Dodgers fans up here. So I've already lived through one World Series where it was Dodgers, Red Sox, and the Red Sox won. So I'd definitely love to do it again.
But I hate the Dodgers, and I cannot really stand the Red Sox. So I was hoping you'd go. I'm not even. I'm a
Red Sox thing.
Yeah, it's okay. But I want. That's a great answer, and I wanted to see it. Like, you know, you being a Green Bay Packers fan, especially with what happened last year and Aaron Rodgers, and I was like, oh no.
I don't really want to talk about that either.
Okay, well we won't. We'll go on to the next one. Next question. All right. You've already said it a few different times. I mean, it sounds to me like you're a fly fishing king.
Well, I don't know about that, but I definitely spend a lot of time doing it.
Okay,
I have my whole life.
Well, I have to ask you this. Would you rather go fly fishing or perform live?
I mean, what's the show?
Ooh.
Are we talking like Red Rocks sold out? Because then
yeah, and you're with Sturgill.
Yeah, no, I mean that's playing like a big show or something like that. I've said this all the time. Like the music industry has a lot of pain, especially when you're holding the bag the whole time. But when you write a song and you release a song and it resonates with people, and then you go play that song live and people sing that song back to you, that high is it's a high that you cannot replicate. But fly fishing and music are so similar and also so different. Where like fly fishing to me, that's my time I don't have to have my phone because I'm out of service. So no, I don't get any calls, no emails, nothing, no social media. And it's just me trying to figure out how to catch a fish. And it's super simple. And it's just like meditation and therapy. Whereas music is work, and that's the drug. So then you got to balance them both. That's a tough question. That's a good one.
I was just going to ask, it sounds like, I mean, we've talked to a lot of musicians, and I wanted, and if you can, I don't know if, and a lot can't, really describe that adrenaline. Because like you just said, it is like almost like this drug, this rush that really overcomes your body. And what does that feel like?
The way I kind of describe it is like, I mean, I don't know, are you a competitive person?
Yeah, very.
Okay, so you know how awesome it feels when you win?
Yes.
Now imagine that you're winning for like an hour and a half straight. That's how you feel the whole time. You can't lose really because it's your show. So it's that same like endorphin rush that you get when you win. At least this is how I would describe it, as when you win or accomplish something or do whatever, that endorphin rush. But it's intense for an hour and a half or 2 hours or 3 hours, however long the show is, however long you got the crowd for. when you have them and they're just you're giving them 100% and they're giving you 100%, it's insane.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right, well, we got to ask you, now you've taken over the White Lightning. You need a co-pilot, a musician. You're going from coast to coast. Who do you got? Who do you got as your co-pilot, dead or alive musician?
As in like another act?
No.
Like an artist?
Yeah, it could be an artist or even just a songwriter.
I mean, there's so many great songwriters. One of a good friend of mine, one of my favorite songwriters is Charlie Stout. He writes for like the Panhandlers, William Clark Green, Josh Abbott, those guys.
Mm-hmm.
He's phenomenal. And then, I mean, I would love to go just like on a shoot for the moon kind of thing. Like, I mean, I'd love to go with like Sturgill Simpson. I'd love to write with him or Tyler Childers, those guys. I mean, I think Coulter Wall would be great to write with too. There's so many of them out there. It'd be so hard to pick. And anyone that would want to go with me, I'd be absolutely blessed to go with. So that's pretty much how I'd answer that.
I always think it's a great, answer when someone does say a songwriter more than, I guess, performer, only because the amount of songs and stories that would be shared. I'm one who loves the road, so I know when conversations can get very deep, and that's really, I feel like, would come out. You would have so many great things that would come out of it, whether, conversation-wise or just song or just anything, really, that come from along.
Well, and that's it would be hard for me to go with someone who wasn't a songwriter, I guess, because for me, I don't know. I mean, obviously, people think of songs like they're just one aspect, but they're really not. I mean, it's the music industry, and like obviously entertainment and all that other stuff is a part of it. But if you can't if you want to be an artist, you can't write very well, and you can kind of perform. I mean, that's a tough look anyway. If you're just really good at performing, then you're a good song picker, I guess. You pick songs from other songwriters, and maybe I know a lot of songwriters who their only goal, like they don't want to perform. Mm-hmm. That's perfect. And their only goal is to like haunt lazy songwriters, basically.
Yeah.
And they love that. That's their high. That's their drug. So I don't know, but for me, if I was going to do something like that, I definitely want to be with a songwriter like that.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Very cool. Well, if any of these guys are going through your phone, through a playlist musically, are they going to find something that's going to surprise us, maybe even embarrass you?
Ooh, yeah. I'm a huge. I grew up on this when I was younger, just part of the generation. But punk rock, a decent amount of punk rock. I still listen to like Blink-182 and some other those kind of bands, Green Day. I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah, a lot.
So I don't listen to it as much as I used to. If you go through my playlist, you're gonna find a ton of bluegrass and a ton of Americana and a ton of country music. That's basically all I listen to.
Yeah. Well, so when you're fly fishing, are you listening to a lot of this stuff? Are you listening to your own stuff? Are you even tapped in?
I'm not.
Yeah, that's very cool.
I'll listen to stuff when I'm driving.
Yeah.
I'll put on a cool album when I'm driving. Or actually, that's one of my favorite times to like start listening to like demo tapes I have, or like go back through and listen to songs that I've written, like just demo stuff, and see if I like it, what I want to change. But when I'm on the river, when I'm out there, you just listen to nature and you watch everything happen. I mean, the world spins around you when you're out there, man.
Yeah, that's amazing. I've never been fly fishing. It looks amazing. I mean, the only thing close enough to me fly fishing is I've seen a river runs through it. That's it.
Right. Well, you wouldn't be alone. And it's just different up here, man, because there's, the whole state of Idaho, the entire state has 1.7 million people in it. Just one massive small town. And I'm in the second most populated area of Idaho, up here in the Panhandle. And the county I live in has 150,000 people in it. That's a big city up here.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So when you get out on the river, it's truly, there's 75 miles of river, and then including the tributaries, there's some like over 400 miles of water mileage stuff. And it's really easy to go up and just get lost and just, stand still in time for couple hours at least, or a day, or however much time you got to do it. That's the best part.
Well, Colby, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for joining us with the lightning round. But now this is on you. We're looking for things that you've already kind of mentioned what you got going on this year, but if you don't mind saying it again and letting us know what you have for 2021, I mean, with the new album dropping and new shows that are coming up in Idaho.
Yeah, of course. So as of right now, like I said, we're playing some of the bars and stuff up here in Idaho, just going back to the fans and stuff. But we picked up a couple really awesome shows this year too. We're going to be opening up for Jake Owen actually at the festival at Sandpoint.
Yeah, I
here
saw
at the end
that.
of the month. Then we're going to go ahead and I'll be going to Nashville. I'll be playing at the Live Oak August 8th at noon in Nashville, and then after that, we're going to be, once again, coming back to Idaho. We'll be here for a while, and then hopefully next season we're going to hit the festivals pretty hard next year. So should be coming. I'll be around the country hopefully next year.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for you. You got really big things coming. And that album,
Thank you.
If I Were the Devil, is fantastic. If no one's heard it, and I'm hoping that before we let you go, we maybe hear a song. But everybody, so this is a great segue. How do we follow you? How do we listen to you?
So yeah, you can find me on pretty much all social media. I mean, every single social media platform. I'm most active on Instagram, for sure. Instagram and TikTok, I'm very active on. But yeah, you just look up Colby Acuff on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. My website is colbyacuff.com. But yeah, typing in Colby Acuff to any search bar will basically get you there.
We got to hit the road. We got to let you go. But before we kick you out, we're hoping for a song. Is that possible, sir?
Of course, I'll play you guys a tune.
All right. Well, what song are you playing for us today?
I'll be playing you guys If I Were the Devil.
If I were the devil, first thing that I'd do is I'd come off like I never gave a damn about you. Let you catch a peek of all your greatest desires, but I don't want your flames in your eyes burn like hellfire. Find all the wolves in the land, and I make them fight each other tooth and nail, hand to hand. I find all the sheep, make them stir up the pot, 'cause once the wolves have killed each other's sheep, all what I want. The devil walks among us, friends, I know this is true, and I don't know if it's red, and I don't know if it's blue. One thing that I know, need to take a look around. If I were the devil, this world would be my playground. As I place that thorny crown on my furrowed brow, I shine all the tears of joy held from the crowd. I want to bring to watch parents, and I have the world. I'll be in every schoolhouse lecturing little boys and girls. The devil walks among us, friends, I know this is true, and I don't know if it's me, and I don't know if it's you. One thing that I know, need to take a look around. If I were the devil, this world would be my playground. For my final act, tell you what it'd be. I'd have everyone so medicated they could never see. My cloven hooves or horned head would be all disguised, and the best part of it all is they'd comply with their demise. The devil walks among us, friends, I know this is true, and I don't know if it's me, and I don't know if it's you. One thing that world was mine to see. I'd witness all the atrocities, and it probably frightened me. So I'd run back home with a story to tell. Hell, I tell all my demon friends that I always preferred hell.
That was Colby Acuff. Amazing song, and you have to go download his entire album, but also follow him on his social media. It's extremely important. Colby, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me. I seriously appreciate it.
Yeah, and hopefully we can make it up to the North Country one day, but if anything, you gotta come back to Texas. Texas barbecue more than twice, and maybe a Whataburger at the same time. I don't know. Depends on on how hungry you are.
I'll be down there here pretty soon.
All right,
I'm
man.
not too worried about that.
Well, hey, and good luck in Nashville. This is huge.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, this is Colby Acuff, and remember, go download his music. If I Were the Devil. This is the future right here. So, all right, sir. Have a good one.
Thank you.
You might take a picture, love, 'cause this could be your lucky day. Oh yeah, you might take a picture, love, 'cause this could be your lucky day.